أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وبعد, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today is the 31st of December, right, Ayman? So it's the Eve, the New Year Eve? I didn't want to talk about the New Year Eve. How did you know? So I just said the Eve. I might mean the Eve of Rajab, right? And it is. It is the Eve of Rajab, the night of Rajab. Tomorrow is going to be Rajab, inshallah. So I don't know about the New Year. So I meant Rajab, yeah, Ayman. So be careful. Rajab, the month that Allah Azza wa Jal talked about in the Quran, saying, إِنَّ عِدَّةَ الشُّهُورِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض. Yani the number of the months as Allah created the heavens and earth. From the beginning of the creation, Allah created these months. Not January, February, March, no. But Al-Muharram, Safar, Rabi'ul Awwal, Rabi'ul Akhir. These months in the lunar calendar that we have it. And Allah said, Minha arba'atun hurum. Some of these months are 4 months, or 4 months are called Al-Ashhur Al-Hurum, the sacred month. And to understand or to know exactly what are these months, we have to go to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Quran and hadith, they go together, gives you, beautiful explanation for all the issues of Sharia. You can not only depend on the general verses in the Quran. Aqimus salah. How many rak'ah do you pray in Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha? You find it in the explanation in the Sunnah. So you take both of them, because this is a lot in the community that people only take the Quran and they forget about Sunnah, And they will say, well, pray according to Quran. You can't pray according to Quran, because all the details of Salah is in Sunnah in Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. So Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam gave us the explanation of this, the sacred months, in Sunnatihi alayhi salatu wasalam, fi hajjat al-wada', when he stood and he said, Inna az-zamana qad istadara ka hay'atihi yawma khalaqa Allahu as-samawati wal-ard. السنة 12 شهرا منها 4 حرم 3 متواليات ذو القعدة وذو الحجة ومحرم أول محرم ورجب مضر الذي بين جمادى وشعبان. يعني Prophet ﷺ said that the months or the year is 12 months as Allah created them from the beginning of the creation, from the heavens, after the creation of the heavens and earth. And some of these months are sacred months, which is known as Al-Ashhur Al-Hurum. 3 of them, they come in, after one another, in one sequence. The first of them, Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah, then the next to it, and then Al-Muharram, they come together in one sequence. And then the 4th one is in a different time. It is between Jumada Al-Akhirah and between Sha'ban, which is Rajab, which is tomorrow, inshallah. So many people are so busy because of the New Year Eve, which has no origin in Islam, which has no, ceremony in Islam, which has no occasion in Islam, which has no relationship between it and Islam. So many people, they travel, they celebrate their fireworks and everything, and they do a lot of stuff for the New Year, for this purpose. And they, give the greetings and send the occasions that, the happiness of the coming New Year. That's okay. But actually, when a New Year comes to me, I become more worried, because I'm coming closer to Allah. When tomorrow comes to me, so this increases in my life and increases in the question. So if you live for 6 years, is different from the person who lived for 60 years, different from the person who lived for 90 years. Every day I will be asked about everything. So when a new year comes to me, that makes me more worried. That makes me, I have to do better job, because the question is going to be hard. As Allah Azza wa Jal, فَسَوْفَ يُحَاسَبُ حِسَابًا عَسِيرًا. So Nabi alayhi salam يقول مَنْ نُوقِشَ الْحِسَابَ عُذِّبْ. The discussion of the accountability, the question only is hard, is difficult. How is that? You have this money, you have this property, you have this wealth, you spend so and so and so. Allah is counting to you what you have, the list that you have it in your life. This discussion only is hard. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make it easy for us. When a new year comes to me, I have to stop and think about my life. How do I spend my life? Not thinking how do you spend the New Year Eve, and where do I go, and how shall I, spend the time at this night, in a way that I do stuff of haram. Many people, they do haram stuff, drinking alcohol, they hang out, they do some haram stuff. All of that, forget about it. The New Year Eve comes tonight with a new year or a new night, which is the night of Rajab, the beginning of Rajab, the sacred month. What does it mean, the sacred month? It means that this month is sacred. If you used to do something wrong in the whole year, you're not allowed to do it from tonight. In the whole month, in the coming month. If you used to smoke and you say that's a sin, I'll repent to Allah Azza wa Jal. If you do it in that sacred month, it becomes much greater sin. If you lie, if you cut your relationship between you and the family's ties of kinship and so on, if you hurt people, if you act bad in a wrong way, if you leave salah, if you delay salah, if you lie, whatever you do, whatever the person is doing in the whole year is a sin. And it could be a major sin, minor sin, it differs. May Allah protect us all from the whole sins. But when it comes to the sacred months, I'm not allowed to do that. Why? Because the sin will be greater, will be more dangerous. That's why Allah said, فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا فِيهِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ. So from tonight, I have to sit, and think about the matter and start thinking about my actions. How do I correct myself? How do I make use of these days in the best manner? My point is to avoid all sins. My point is to get more ajr. My point that after Rajab there is Sha'ban, so these are 2 months to prepare myself for Ramadan. So I work on myself. Could be fasting, could be reading Al-Quran, could be Qiyam al-Layl, and you stop the haram stuff because it's going to be much worse, greater in sin. It's going to be more dangerous. فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا فِيهِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do not wrong yourself in these days, in these months. And this does not mean you are allowed to wrong yourself in the other months. No, it doesn't mean this. But it means the sin in the whole year is prohibited, is not allowed. But in these months, it is more sacred. You have to show, higher respect for these days and stop all of the evil things and start a new page, a new promise between you and Allah Azza wa Jal. So I'm not going to go and spend the New Year Eve in the wrong things, doing the haram stuff and so on, and occupy myself with these things which will not give me any benefits. And it has no origin and no relationship between it and in Islam teachings. And I forget about this night, that is tomorrow, is Rajab, and that's a sacred month. The wrong and the sin is greater. And some people, they spend the half of the night awake and they watch things, they do things, they play with things. And then Salat al-Fajr, the first sin in Rajab, that I leave Salat al-Fajr. I do not pray Salat al-Fajr in Jama'ah. I do not wake up for Fajr. Why? Because I was busy in the celebration for the new year. It's not going to give me anything. But what about Rajab? It's very important. It's very important to win the ajr. It's very important to stay away from the haram stuff. One of these haram things, the prohibitions, delaying the salah or abstaining from doing the salah in the masjid, in jama'ah, if you can do that. Salat al-Fajr. Why is it not like Salat al-Isha? Why is it not like Salat al-Jum'ah? And where are people? And it could be holiday. Is it holiday? Is it? Day off, right? So people, they do not work. So instead of thinking about how do I wake up for Fajr and get the first hasana in that night or in that day, I go and I become busy with the ceremonies and the parties and what's happening around the world, what's happening in US and so on regarding the New Year Eve and all of these stuff. And subhanallah, the only Eid we have, Prophet ﷺ, he taught us, you have Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr. And the weekly Eid you have is the Friday. And when he migrated to Medina, he found them celebrating a day there like an Eid for them, or 2 days. So he asked them, what about these? What are these days? So they said, Ya Rasulullah, we used to play during these days as make some joy or have some, joyful time at these days, because we used to have them before Islam. So Prophet ﷺ said, قَدْ أَبْدَلَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِيَوْمَيْنِ خَيْرٍ مِنْهُمَا. So Allah Azza wa Jal has substituted you with 2 days better than these 2 days that you have it, which is Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr, the Eid of the sacrifice, which comes after Hajj, the 10th day of Hajj, and Eid al-Fitr, the first day of Shawwal, which coming after breaking the fast, the first day to break your fast after fasting the month of Ramadan. These are the Eid of the Muslims. So I become ready for these Eids and the weekly Eid. I become ready for al-ibadat, for as-salawat. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, when it comes to Rajab, he used to make much or greater way of fasting in al-Ashhur al-Hurum. He used to fast a lot in al-Ashhur al-Hurum, in Rajab, in Muharram, in Dhul Qa'dah, in Dhul Hijjah. Otherwise, on the other hand, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said, do not fast all of Rajab, because people will think that it's a Eid, they're gonna be Eid. That is why when you talk about the virtues of these months, there is no specific hadith saying that, fasting in Rajab is the best fasting. Reading the Quran in Rajab is the best reading. But what we know from the Sunnah, that it is a sacred month, so I have to respect the ibadat, I have to respect the acts of worshipping during these days. There's no specific hadith in it. Imam Ibn Hajar radiallahu anhu wa rahimahullah ألف كتابا اسمه تبيين العجب في فضائل شهر رجب. Imam Ibn Hajar, he wrote a book about the virtues of Shahr Rajab. He said none of the hadith talk about the virtues of Shahr Rajab is Sahih hadith. None of them is sound hadith. But there is one hadith, which is hadith Usama ibn Zayd in Sunan al-Nasa'i, the book of al-Nasa'i of hadith, in which Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked about fasting in Sha'ban, so he said, ذَاكَ شَهْرٌ يَغْفُلُ النَّاسُ فِيهِ بَيْنَ رَجَبْ وَرَمَضَانَ. When I fast a lot in Sha'ban, Prophet ﷺ, he used to fast a lot in Sha'ban. Aisha says in Sahih al-Bukhari, كان يصوم شعبان كله كان يصوم شعبان إلا قليلا. He used to fast the majority of Sha'ban. Could be 2 or 3 days or 1 day that Prophet ﷺ breaks his fasting in Sha'ban, but he used to fast the majority of Sha'ban. He was asked about the reason, why, Ya Rasulullah, you increase in fasting in Sha'ban? So he said, because people get used to make a lot of ibadat in Rajab, and they make a lot of ibadat in Ramadan, and they become lazy a little bit in Sha'ban, which is the month between both of them. So the scholars extracted from this hadith that Rajab is a month in which you increase in the ibadah, in which you make a lot of ibadah, because of this hadith. Because people used to do that, and Prophet ﷺ did not prohibit them from doing such thing. So what I need to deliver today is a message of today from this khatira, that we need to look for our plan. We make a plan in Rajab. Stop in the haram. You start new things with the halal. Think about how to increase in your hasanat. Because as كما أن السيئات تضاعف فكذلك نبغي إن شاء الله ونرجو أن تضاعف الحسنات. As we believe that the sins will be multiplied, because it's very wrong, very bad, very dangerous to do it, to commit it during the sacred month. We hope that also the rewards, the good deeds will be multiplied. هذا ظننا في ربنا. This is what we think in Allah Azza wa Jal, and regarding our deeds as well. So it's a chance to start a new page between you and Allah Azza wa Jal. Focus in your ibadah, focus in your siyam. Make a plan in Rajab that you avoid all of the wrong things that you used to do, and then you start focusing on your ibadah so that you get and make use of that time. May Allah Azza wa Jal accept it from us all and guide us all to the straight way. Allahumma ameen. And also never forget your brothers in Gaza, to make dua for them, and your brothers and sisters in Gaza, and brothers and sisters in Sudan as well. They're fleeing every day. They face the death and the killing every day, and the brothers and sisters in Gaza, they face the genocide every day. So it might be a good time to increase in my ibadah in Qiyam al-Layl, and I make specific dua for those people who are in need. And wallahi, I can't imagine a person is celebrating with the new year and his brothers and sisters, they're facing the death and the killing machine every day and every night. If they do not die because of the killing machine, they die because of the cold weather, they die because of the rain, they die because of the circumstances they have, the hunger that they have, the famine that they have. I cannot imagine anyone has a chance to go and celebrate with the new year and he forgets about his brothers and sisters who suffer around the world. So it's a good chance to return to Allah, making extra dua, begging Him to give them the victory, the help and the support, and to give them the relief after this genocide that is committed every day. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يفرج عن إخواننا في غزة. اللهم فرج عن إخواننا في غزة يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع عنهم الحصار، اللهم ارفع عنهم البلاء، اللهم فرج عنهم كربهم، اللهم داوي جرحاهم وتقبل من مات منهم في الشهداء. اللهم إنهم حفاة فاحملهم، عراة فاكسهم، جياع فأشبعهم، مرضى فداوهم. اللهم عليك بعدوك وعدوهم فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم عليك بهؤلاء الأعداء فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم أحصيهم عددا وقتلهم بددا ولا تبق منهم أحدا. ربنا إننا مغلوبون فانتصر، ربنا إننا مغلوبون فانتصر. اللهم منزل الكتاب مجري السحاب هازم الأحزاب انصرنا عليهم واهزمهم يا رب العالمين وردنا إلى دينك مردا جميلا. اللهم احفظ إخواننا في السودان وألف بين قلوبهم واحفظ أعراضهم ونساءهم وذراريهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجمع شملهم واحقن دماءهم واحقن دماء المسلمين في كل مكان وأعذنا من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن، وأنجي إخواننا المستضعفين المكلومين في شتى بقاع الأرض يا رب العالمين. اللهم تب علينا توبة ترضيك عنا. اللهم إنا نسألك توبة خالصة صادقة يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك صدق التوكل عليك وحسن الظن بك. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم ارزقنا حسن الخاتمة يا رب العالمين. اللهم أحينا مسلمين وتوفنا مسلمين واجمعنا وابعثنا مسلمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل خاتمتنا كلمة التوحيد لا إله إلا الله، وتقبلنا عندك من الصادقين المحسنين يا رب العالمين. وصل اللهم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.